Today, we're going to create a double exposure effect in Photoshop. Hey guys, it's Connor here from Quick Edits. Today, I'm going to teach you step by step on how to create this double exposure effect in Photoshop. We're going to use 2 images, a couple of masks, and a few interesting techniques to recreate this effect. Okay, so to start the process, you'll need to pick 2 images. One will be your outline effect, which will be my eagle here. This is the one I've chosen. And then an image for your fill, which I've chosen this forest here. And to start the effect, the first thing we need to do is first select our outline layer, which is my eagle here. And I'm going to start cutting this out. I'm just going to use the quick selection tool just to get a rough cutout first. Doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be using the refine edge tool to get the rest of it. That looks pretty good, so let's click up to select and mask, and we're going to use our refine edge tool. I'm just going to get rid of most of this blue. Now the background you choose doesn't really matter because you need to cut it out anyway, but it will help if you just have maybe a white background or a solid color background like I've got here. Makes it easier for me to cut out. That's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that, and I'm going to press OK. Now I need to turn this image into a mask, so I'm going to press our mask button here, and that's going to cut out our background and just going to leave us with our eagle here. Now I need a white background for my image, so to do that I'm just going to add in a new adjustment layer, and I'm going to click onto solid color, make sure that's set to white, press OK, and I'm going to put that underneath the eagle. Perfect. Now the next step is for me to remove all the color from our eagle here, so I'm going to go back to my eagle layer, and I'm going to add in another adjustment layer, and I'm going to click onto black and white, and that's going to give me a black and white image here. I am going to change the preset here from default, and I'm going to click on maximum black just to get a bit more contrast. That looks pretty good there. Now I only want our black and white adjustment layer to affect only the eagle, so I'm just going to right click on it, and I'm going to set it to create clipping mask. That's going to give us our little arrow here, meaning the only one it's going to affect is the one underneath, which is our eagle, and that's exactly what we need. Now the last thing we really need to do to create our double exposure effect is to just make our fill layer visible and selected, and change our blending option down to screen, and that's going to give us the perfect double exposure effect. Now there's a couple of things I want to do extra to this image just to make it a little bit better, and that is just a little bit of color correction on our fill image. So while I'm selecting on it, I'm going to make another adjustment layer, and I'm going to add in a curves layer. And just in my curves graph here, I'm just going to make a slight S shape just to boost up the contrast. And maybe just to get our colors popping a little bit more, so looking a little bland here, I'm going to click onto our forest layer. I'm going to head over to Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation, and I'm going to colorize it. I'm going to click Colorize here, and I'm just going to select a nice color that I like here. The green looks pretty good, but oh, there we go. That looks really good. And before I forget, guys, the curves adjustment layer we added on top here is affecting right now our fill layer and our eagle. We only want it to affect our fill layer, so again I'm going to click on it, right click, and set that to a clipping mask again, which is then only going to affect our fill forest layer here, leaving our eagle here unaffected by the curves. And just to finish off, guys, I think I'm going to add maybe one more layer to add in a quick vignette. I'm going to get our elliptical marquee tool, create a nice sphere, and I'm going to select inverse. I'm going to grab our paint bucket tool, make sure we're set onto black, and we're going to fill in our edges, deselect, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, make sure this is right at the top, just like that. Click OK, bring down the opacity just to give a little bit of depth there, and that's looking pretty good, guys. And there we go, guys. That's how you create a simple but effective double exposure effect in Photoshop. Now I know there's so many other ways to create this effect, but for me this one works really well, and I really hope it works for you too. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Please drop a like, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you very much. Bye.